I've been baking for a long time. I actually started off as cooking. I love being in the kitchen. I love cooking. I love coming up with new recipes by myself, tweaking things that I've tasted like in restaurants. So that was initially where I began. And then one of my friends actually gave my information to somebody. So this girl texts me. She's like, "Oh, I heard you make cakes. Can you make me a cake for my 30th birthday?" And I was like, I guess I make cakes now. So this was exactly a year ago. I was 21 when I had my son, and I was applying for my master's degree at the time. And when he was about 18 months old, as I was starting to do my master's process, he was diagnosed with autism. So, you know, it was very difficult at the time, and I knew that I had to put everything on hold and focus on him. There you go. Can you put the lid back on and screw it? Good job. Omar's nonverbal. He's just starting to learn how to speak in like the last couple of years. So my favorite cake is probably my very first one that I made that I would say was professional, but it did not look professional at all. But it's because he specifically asked for like an astronaut outer space theme. As far as inspiration goes, Instagram, clearly that's where I get the majority of my inspo. But I also like art that my kids would draw, or certain colors that I feel like go together. Flowers are a big inspiration for me. I love flowers. So abstract art more than anything is probably the biggest inspiration. I like this a lot about my clients now, is when they give me free reign. They either give me a theme or the colors, and they're like, do your thing. And that's like one of the biggest compliments. So that's what I'm doing. It's gonna be, all I know is it's a Candyland theme, pastel colors, the rest is on me.
Don't overcook them.
What happens when you overcook a cake?
They might burn.
I have a subscription to like this company called Fancy Sprinkles, and they send me a box every month of like 3 sprinkles, and it's like themey. Like in the spring they'll send, or Easter they'll send like pastel colors.
So these look like cotton candy, and like when you're like dreaming you're in cotton candies, these might be the colors you might be dreaming of. Now she's like smoothing the icing. That's what she's doing. She's very talented at it. Getting like super sharp, super smooth sides, that's something that I feel brings a cake from average to, a showstopper cake. If it looks completely sharp and clean, people looking at it would be like, that's the cake I want for my event. Mom, on this side it's looking pretty smooth.
Yeah, I agree. It's finally coming together, my lady.
Yeah. It's not coming apart.
I hope not. So there's always a backup layer, and almost always I never need the backup layer. So that gets eaten as a snack. Just the frosting. What do you think?
Good.
The one thing that my mom instilled in me is you respect food for it to respect you back, and nothing goes to waste. My mom passed away a few months ago. So when I got back to making cakes, and I took like 3 months off, it was something that was very hard for me to do, because she lives overseas, and that was something that over the last year her and I bonded over a lot. And I couldn't get back into it without doing something to honor her. So I made a cake for her in her honor, and it's probably one of my most elaborate cakes, and it was a very emotional process to make the cake, and it was also one of those firsts. It was something that I knew that she would have loved. So kind of put my heart, all my tears into that cake. I didn't know that it would take off the way it did.
Disgusting.
What's disgusting? Disgusting?
Uh-huh.
I didn't know that something that brought me personal joy could be part of somebody else's celebration, whether it's a birthday or a wedding or someone to cheer a friend up, or it revolves around cake. So for me to be part of that and like a central part of people's celebrations is really satisfying for me.
Do you like watching your mom bake cakes?
Sure do.